desperate for validation and to be seen. And then when we ask about the text messages, and you go from saying, I don't know much about technical stuff, to then saying that you figured out how to do data recovery of your own phone, you're a fucking liar, Heather. You're a fucking liar. You are a whole ass problem. And I have no doubt whatsoever that Chris could have been a 17-year-old, and had he given you the same attention and validation, you would have made the rationalization that Chris Mowry, he's mature for a 17-year-old. I have no doubt in my mind you would have done that. I have no idea if you've ever engaged in anything pedophilic in the past. I have no idea if you've ever been with someone under the age of 18. I have no clue whatsoever. What I do know is it didn't matter how old Chris would have been. And I know that you are dangerous, and you are exactly the sort of person who should not be on social media. So for people who are just arriving, Heather here, I guess, is a reputable person who used to mod for Chris Mowry and still does mod for Chris. And in January of this year, they had a schmexual relationship. And 2 weeks ago, Heather joined a panel to defend Chris, saying that he was one of the good ones, and revealed that she had had a sexual relationship with Chris. And apparently people were calling her a Petritio for that, which I don't agree with that. But today, earlier on a live, when people were calling her a Petritio, she said like one or two things on her live. And I can guarantee you, she absolutely said that she would not condemn pedophilia. She would not say that it's wrong. She said that would be good. And I tried to give her a carve out by saying, because she says that she was 17 when she met her partner who was 24. And I said, well, I'll give you a carve out for your come back. If it's lagging, just leave and come out back. So I tried to give her a carve out by not allowing her to
had a widened trade
suggest that her relationship was the norm. And in response to that carve out, where I said, well, okay, you can at least admit that 99.999% of pedophilic relationships are wrong, correct? And their response was no. And when they said they were uncomfortable saying what percentage, the only thing she was willing to say is of pedophilic relationships are good, which to me implied that she was thinking somewhere around 5% of pedophilic relationships can be beneficial. And she left that live. She turned off her own live. In fact, either her kids talked to her or Chris talked to her.
Good thing.
And she then joined. My mistake. It was all a misinterpretation. My bad. And then claimed to have been victimized by Chris while using all of the telltale language. Like, had she been a 40-year-old man, all of the shit she was saying was what you expect. The 4-year-old man who sleeps with the babysitter. I had been missing out on love and affection in my relationship, so when my babysitter gave me attention, it was intoxicating.
Did anyone else?
Oh, Fever, I didn't know you knew you were up here, so I went to mute you. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Did anyone else notice that she also had said that her husband validated it? I know what it's like to have someone want me, like her. Like, did anyone else hear that when she was there talking about her husband validating because she came clean to her husband about engaging with someone who was younger, who made her feel good about herself? And her husband and she said that her husband said that he was supportive of it and understanding of it. To me, that was a fucking massive red flag.
I mean, I'm going to say again, when she said, and again, my mutuals who are 22, 23, 24, I love you, I adore you, you're great. However, when she said that she had a deep, spiritual, meaningful, whatever connection with he was 22 at the time, 22-year-old, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean
In
you?
5 years, she's only had one connection with a 23-year-old who happened to be 22 or 23 in the 5 years.
I can't, I'll be honest with you. Like, I do think, like, when we talk about the victim to predator pipeline, I do believe that, I don't need to say that she's done anything inappropriate before. I do believe it's quite possible that because she was groomed, so just for context, Heather stated on her live that she was 17 when she met her 24-year-old future husband. And, when she was saying that it was not harmful to her, she was literally up here describing the harm. The
Yeah.
harm was that she'd never experienced what it was like to be with other people. The harm was she'd never experienced what it was like to be with a 23-year-old. So that was probably really interesting to her. The harm was
Yes.
she'd never experienced what it was like to feel special or loved by anyone but her husband. So as her relationship was coming crashing down, she felt like she was meaningless and that she would never have anything like that again because she was groomed from the age of 17 and therefore thought that she could never experience it with anyone else because she was never given the opportunity to learn that you can have relationships with lots of people. You may have a better one with some people, but she was literally demonstrating why grooming is harmful because you're deprived of these things that give you like a sense of who you are and a sense of what, the sense of who you are really.
I think what I'm more highlighting is the fact that hasn't had a connection with anyone but this 22-year-old or 23-year-old, however old Chris is, sorry, in that 5 year period. But yet she cannot recall any of the conversations that they've
Yeah.
had, as in who engaged with who first, who reached out to who first. Like to me, I'm sort of like looking at that going, if you haven't had a relationship in 5 years and you've had a connection with someone, you're going to remember some of those things.
I agree. I think it's crazy to me how a lot of the things she was using to describe why she was taken advantage of were
It was victim
actually,
blaming.
was actually all the things that were to me showing why she was so dangerous. She was desperate for validation and she was desperate to feel seen. She was desperate to feel important. And that was making her want to pursue Chris, I think is pretty clear to me anyway as to what it is she was up to. And it's scary to me that she views herself as the victim when I have no doubt that she was pursuing. She was eagerly, soaking up. And she doesn't understand that psychologically she was likely doing that because she was a victim.
Yeah.
That was really, like, honestly, again, if she was a 40-year-old man, like, I don't know how many people, it doesn't look like there was really anyone fooled in the comments. But like, if she had been a 40-year-old man, like, I think people would have been like saying unalive her. Like, there was so much gross shit coming out of her. That was disturbing. Like, Heather, if you're listening, I want to be super clear. I think you're really dangerous. You may not be an evil person in your head. I get that. But you are dangerous in your current mental state. You're fucking a liability. I wouldn't trust her talking to anyone right now. Yeah.
She needs help. She definitely needs help.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, if you're here to like hear what's going on, like, just there's no point sticking around. There's not going to be any more tea. There's not going to be any more. Like, honestly, I'm just going to be like kind of shocked for a few minutes. So there's like 500 of you guys in here. Like 300 to 400 of you guys should probably just leave right now because we're not really, it's not going to get interesting. So let's get back to my regular 100 people because don't expect a surprise visit from anyone at this point. I just want to decompress. I'm like, that was the fact that she doesn't see how dangerous she is so fucking with me right now.